Now, I don't think the Zelda franchise really needs an introduction, but I definitely do. My name is Maurice. I'm kinda new to this YouTube stuff, and I'll be making more gaming commentary slash review videos like this. So if you like this content, please subscribe, and I'll be making more videos like this in the future. In this video, I will be focusing on The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, which released on the GameCube back in November of 2002, and it came bundled with certain GameCubes. You could also get the game by either subscribing or renewing your subscription to Nintendo Power at the time of the game's release. You couldn't just walk into a store and get the game. The collection features multiple Zelda games. Now I know what you might be thinking. Oh, well, we might be getting the Oracle games, right? Those aren't really well known.
No.
Oh, well, what about A Link to the Past? That game is awesome.
No.
What about inferior versions of other games?
Yeah.
The answer is we got none of those games, and a few of these games, one in particular, isn't really all that good. But trust me, I will definitely talk about that later. There was also a 20-minute demo for Wind Waker that had 3 save files preloaded onto the demo. Each one of these save files focused on one aspect of the game, and it was pretty much there to show you how to play the game before the game came out, right? And there was also a short video in this collection that pretty much had every Zelda game that was released up to that point, and it was like a compilation video. But I'll talk about that later. Uh, Alright, so let's talk about the games then. Zelda 1 and 2 were tweaked a bit so that most translation and grammatical errors were fixed. One other thing that I noticed is that the color is kind of altered in the collector's edition. If you compare the NES version with this version, you will notice that the color is a bit different. But honestly, other than that, the games were fine and they ran very well and they were perfect versions of these games. And if you own a GameCube, this is a good way to play these games on your GameCube. If anybody even gives a shit about that, right? But yeah, one thing I wish you could do is switch between the Japanese and American versions of these games because there are minor differences such as the River Devil in Zelda 2 actually looks like a, well, devil. There are other minor things, but that's not the focus of the video. The first Zelda game is a classic, and Zelda 2, in my opinion, gets a lot of undeserved hate, but I'll go into that in a different video that I'll be dropping later on down the line, so please keep an eye out for that. Now, I'm sure some longtime fans will notice that I left out a certain game, right? And I promise you, it's not on purpose. It's because they literally did not put A Link to the Past in this collection for whatever reason. It was a missed opportunity, in my opinion, and it would have made this collection feel like more of, oh, well, I don't know, collection? Maybe it's because it was releasing on the Game Boy Advance the next month in December, but it still should have been added because it's an integral game in the Zelda series and its absence was definitely felt. Well, they at least had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask in this collection. Okay, so for Ocarina of Time, the game was actually ported over to the GameCube with very little visible issues that I could see. The game never really lagged and the audio never cut out, unlike that other game, Majora's Mask. The only real complaint I have is that the game kind of freezes for a few seconds when I bring up the pause menu. And it also takes an entire football season to save the game when it took zero point 0.2 seconds in the N64 version. But honestly, other than that, there's not really much I can say besides this is a really good port of the game, And if you have a GameCube and you want to play Ocarina of Time, this is your best bet. Okay, look, I love Majora's Mask, but that's only when I can actually play the game without it going at 3 FPS. I mean, seriously, how did the devs at Nintendo test this crap and say, yeah, this is acceptable? From what I've read, the lag is due to the fact that the original version of Majora's Mask required the N64 expansion pack, and so when Nintendo ported the game over to the GameCube for the collection, they did it without the use of the expansion pack. So that's why the game, that's, that's why the game lags, that's why the game has audio issues, all of the above. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely still playable, and it only lags in certain areas of the game, such as Zora Hall or Clock Town, but it still is a hindrance, and it distracts you from the gameplay. I mean, seriously, you're better off playing it on a Nokia phone from like 2006. I've read that a few people have experienced crashes while playing Majora's Mask on this version, but me personally, I've never had that happen to me. I've only had the game lag and I've only had audio issues. And trust me, my game has lagged harder than that one fake friend, alright? But it's never crashed on me. So again, I'm not sure where that comes from. It's probably only on certain copies of the game, but if so, then I'm glad I didn't get that copy of the game. Okay, now finally, we have to talk about that Zelda history video that I talked about at the beginning of the video. This video that came with the collection pretty much serves as like a dedication to the Zelda franchise. And what I mean by that is it's like a compilation video of like every single Zelda game that was released up to this point in 2002, right? So, of course, this is before we got Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, all of that, right? So, and honestly, it's a pretty good video. Like, honestly, like, I was really, shocked when I saw it. I thought they were just gonna put together some fucking, cheap ass video. No, it's actually a pretty good, compilation. And if you like Zelda, I would honestly recommend checking it out. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier was that this collection also came with a short Wind Waker demo showcasing the game before its release the following year. There's not really much to it, but once again, it's definitely worth checking out, and it was a really good addition to this collection. But honestly, other than that, that's really all I have to say about the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. At the time, this was a really good collection, because, of course, despite the fact that it was missing the Oracle games, Link's Awakening, like all of those games, A Link to the Past, despite the fact that it was missing those games, the games that we got were still really good for the most part, right? For the most part, they were really good. And yeah, hopefully one day in the future we get another Zelda collection, but like with updated games. So like we get games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Twilight Princess, A Link Between Worlds, Wind Waker. We get a collection like that. But then again, this is Nintendo, but a man can dream. But anyway, I hope you like this video. I know this video sounded kind of rough, but it's my first video, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm only gonna get better from here, and I hope to see you guys down the line when I create more videos. Peace.